And you see how the world judges and portrays how the business portrayed him and used something in his personal life. And for me, I have just a profound empathy for him. It was hard to watch because I care about him and I care about everybody on that show. And they are not just characters on a show to me. These are real people, and it really puts things into perspective.
Guys, welcome to another episode of Tronda Talks, where he'll inspire. I'm with Miss Cat, another squitter. Hey, Miss Cat got out on worship, y'all. Cat, tell me about it.
About worships? Yeah, worships was a very unexpected game. We were all gearing up to play tug of war, and they flipped it on us and surprised us with worships. The thing about worships, why I'm okay with going out on worships, is because it was basically where you were standing on the board. So kind of a game of luck.
Were you part of your selection yourself? Like, did you when you got in? You was in the ship?
Yes, I was.
You was,
yes.
So when you was in the ship and you saw that thing coming toward you, what were you thinking? Like when they was,
yeah.
Who was your captain?
My captain was Joe and Madison. So Madison was the captain. She is a girl from Texas, and Joe was the lieutenant, and he is from Pennsylvania.
Okay. And when you say that, which numbers, like, were they, or what? Because I know we watched about 4 episodes, 4 different turns.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
it was probably. You don't? Do you remember their number?
I don't.
Who were the people that played against? You know what they were?
I played against B.
Okay, yeah. So now you know who that is.
Yeah,
most people know who B is.
Yeah, Eddie was on that team, and Amanda.
Okay.
B and Amanda go on further. So.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So I bet people would know who she is, because when I think about I remember her very well myself.
Yeah, she was featured. You know, she's into gaming, and she was in Mensa when she was 13. Okay. They talked about that in her interview with her.
Yeah. Here. So, well, that means y'all lost.
We did lose. Yeah.
When you got eliminated, what was your feelings? So, I mean, what happened?
My feelings were settled because I had no control over that game. Now, if I had gone out on something like Red Light, Green Light, or Dalgona, I would have been super upset with myself. But having to go out on a game that I didn't necessarily have to strategically plan or participate in, I was just placed to the ship. I had a lot of peace about it.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. What about when you did Dalgona?
Yeah.
What did you have to cut out?
I had to cut out a circle. Yes. And it may be considered one of the easier shapes, right? Okay. But when I got accepted onto Squid Game, I was one of those super preparers. So I was whipping up the Dalgona in the kitchen and practicing.
So you made it yourself?
I made them, and I was the quickest one on my team to get out of that room on Dalgona.
How long did it take?
It was under 2 minutes.
Dang.
Yeah, I was in and out faster than you could imagine. And then I went and had it educated, and they said yes, you passed, and it was a few minutes till the next person even came through.
Yeah, I heard she used the word educated. I ain't never heard that word before.
Yeah, judge, basically judge. Yeah,
that's so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, on the 2, I thought my husband was fast, because I bought him a whole bunch of cookies, like a bunch of them.
Yeah,
I'm not finna go in no kitchen and cook them.
Yeah. Some of us, I think, who went onto the game, we all had different approaches for how we would be successful. And some people didn't practice. I practiced every single game. I researched every single thing. In my time leading up to being on the game, I was practicing Squid Game in the basketball courts with my husband. I was whipping up Dalgona cookies.
Oh my God.
I practiced that game where you throw down the cards. Dachi. And I thought, do everything you possibly can so you're prepared. And I do that in my regular life. So that's very much me.
What made you do it? What get yourself casted on there?
So what got me casted was they emailed me. And when I got the email, I thought, sure, I'll apply. And then thinking, you probably never hear back.
Yeah.
And I heard back, the next day.
And I always ask this question, what was your video like?
My video was my authentic self. I did not play up myself at all. I talked about my passions, which are mental health, and my motivation for going on the show would be, if I could win that money, I would be donating it to people who need therapy to help them get mental health services. That would definitely be my passion.
Right.
So when I saw that could be a possible opportunity, I wanted to pursue that. And then I also wanted the social experiment because I am a mental health doctor. Yes.
Right. I feel you there. I feel you there.
I wanted to see what it would be like to be in that environment with so many people locked in a room, having these social dynamics at play. Because I've researched people, okay? I'm a published researcher, but I have never participated in a social experiment. And I thought Squid Game would be the ultimate social experiment, okay? I mean, truly, you are going through so much psychological distress. But then if you were fortunate enough to be the winner, you could also put that back into your community and help people who maybe need help.
And that's my thing. You talk about something. We talk about being a social experiment.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to go here with it.
Go ahead.
Because the thing for me is because that's the part of the show that I wish people could have saw.
Me too.
That's the part of the show that I wish people could have saw. And that's why I'm here right now speaking with different individuals who are squitters.
Yeah.
But I'm speaking with them I want them to just be able to talk how they need to speak or say whatever it is they need to say. At the same time, because of it being a social experiment, that's one of the things when he got casted. Like I said, I was more or less like, this is one of the biggest things you could ever be a part of due to the fact that it's something never seen by anywhere. No one has ever tried to do anything like this. And when you see something like this, who wouldn't want to be a part of that? It's like, especially people like us,
Absolutely.
And it was like one of those things where, because I knew that, but then when the show would just, when I saw what I saw, yes, I was very disappointed a little bit because of what I know.
Yes.
And due to what I know, and even just not even what I've read, certain things that I've read, when before even it was even talked about or even shown, or before my husband even got back, I was like, it's just different for me. It was just totally different, and I wasn't just not fully happy with the social experiment part. I don't even know if you can put that in the name or the title of it. Yeah, experiment, because you do not see that.
No, you don't. And so much took place behind the scenes between people, the relationships. You're bringing people together from around the world. Every different background that they could get, they did.
And they did a beautiful job.
They did.
Yes.
And I can honestly say that is such a precious experience for anybody to have the chance to meet people that you would never otherwise meet from different socioeconomic statuses, different education, different religions, different ethnicity and race and sexual orientations, everything. For me, that was like Christmas morning.
I know.
Yeah. And it was a beautiful theme. And what took place, the cameras did not capture.
Yep.
The relationships that I've carried from that game on and still have to this day, nearly a year later, have changed my outlook on life immensely. I'm grateful for that.
That's the beautiful part about it. The commitment, the commitment of that unity, that agreement to allow these people to be able to know who you are and you getting to know who they are. That, again, that's just something that I don't know. I mean, that's where I am with it. It's like I'm constantly on that conversation about, like, I just wish there was more character development in regards to different. And yes, they're a business. They got to do what they got to do to take care of what they got to take care of. But for people like me who are watching this, based off the conversations when you saw it being, like I said, I applied for it too. And they did call me.
Yeah.
But I told them I couldn't do it because my husband was going and somebody had to stay back to do the game. To do the work.
Yeah.
And so, if they call me again, if I do it again, of course I will put my butt on out there. And
yes.
I'm like, he might be happy to hear that because he wants me to go.
Yeah.
And I haven't, I told him, I don't know yet. But I think, I probably would. I probably would go ahead and do it all the way through. Because it's still a social experiment. I'm all about that. I would love to see how far I could go and challenge myself.
It's even more than just a social experiment. I've thought about this a lot on the psychological side, and they almost created like a meta universe, like where you're going in, you're being born into this, fake universe, and they're trying to make a blank slate. Okay, they're trying to start people off you're all wearing the same thing. You're not looking a certain way. They're trying to strip you of all of these things. They're giving you all the same. You all get a toothbrush and a toothpaste and the bare minimums. And you really do need to use your social skills to create those dynamics and connections and get to know the people outside of your bubble in life, and you live and die in that game. Yeah. You're born into the game as your player number, and you theoretically, are out on your game. And I will tell you one of the really cool things about going on to that show is when you get eliminated and you think, wow, I lived and died in Squid Game. And I had my own little small experience of that. And you look back and think, there are people still living in the Squid Game going on, and I'm gone, and it's a very intriguing way to look at things. It's kind of like a way of looking at life, if you really think about it, and for me, it's really helped me to view life in that way. Like, it's a precious time you have with the people that you're blessed to have around you in your life, whoever they are, to appreciate them, to be open-minded. And I think I've learned a lot about just approaching people in the real world differently after Squid Game. I got out of there and I was so open-minded. I met friends at the airport going home, and I just feel I feel that way more so than I have before, because I've seen what it's like to have that.
It's funny that you talk about all of that, because that would have been my next question to you. How did you grow in the game? And you basically already told us. Yeah. Like that is pretty much what happened. Was there any healing processes that you had to take?
There were healing processes, and there continue to be, because this experience has brought up emotions for not just me, but many of the players. One thing for me specifically is it's really pushed my empathy so much further, and I am a therapist, right? So I have pretty good empathy, okay? But when you go back and you watch the show and you see cases like Spencer, okay, where someone is struggling, yeah.
I was so mad at some people, but I didn't know to call their names.
Yeah.
I don't know, on your team, wherever.
Yeah. But, you see that, and you see how the world judges and portrays how the business portrayed him and used something in his personal life. And for me, I have just a profound empathy for him. It was hard to watch because I care about him and I care about everybody on that show. And they're not just characters on a show to me. These are real people, and it really puts things into perspective how media portrays people and how we do on a superficial level, when we really should not judge anyone. We really should be opening our hearts and minds to people.
But we can say that, but based off of what we know.
Yeah.
When I say know, what we got a chance to see.
Yeah.
That changes the whole everything, because we didn't get to see him.
We didn't.
We only saw what they let us see. And that's just like anybody else that goes on this show. We only get to see what they let us see. And then by us seeing what they let us see, we can only go on that. I'll still use this girl again, and I keep going back to her. Yes, because of the fact that there's people harping on her about not being able to do 20 seconds, holding herself up for 20 seconds. Well, we all know that it was way longer than that.
Yes, it was.
We know that. We know that. And because we know that, I mean, it's not bad. There's one thing about it, is like, even if you put it, I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, again, it is a business, and I know they got a lot of money, and I know that they can do what they want to do, but I still feel what I feel. And it's one of those things where I just wished it was more justification for the beautiful information or content that was provided by all these dynamic individuals, the people who pushed through, the people who, why she couldn't do the girl. You could explain her, man, she did that for 30. You know how much more admirable that would have been, or because of the fact that this girl was holding that squat for 20 minutes, and she said, I couldn't do it no more. Oh my God, really? Compassion.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
I sympathize with her.
I do too.
Yeah, and I was sympathizing just out of Spencer. I got what they said about him. I felt every bit of that. And it did hit me. It hit me tomorrow. I was like, oh my gosh, like, why would you showed all of these things. You showed him talking about this being this way. But, this is not to talk about him, more or less to talk about the fact that I just feel like that you developed who he was to show why he was so saddened. and why it affected him the way he did. You gave him development, but I feel like that development that you gave him was your way of excusing the person out, that energy that he had thought about. That's what I feel like. I'm just saying it.
Yes. Yeah.
It gave you the okay to show, because you could not show that part of the scene without showing what happened.
Yeah. I will say that in my professional opinion, I don't think any business should use someone's suffering to exploit them or to profit off of somebody. So for me, I think that's very questionable and unethical. So when I watched certain scenes in the show and saw that, it really broke my heart that people are out there doing that.
It's okay. It makes it okay because it clears things up, quote unquote, for why it was done, why he reacted. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I just, because I knew I kind of had a feeling we were going to have this kind of a conversation with each other.
Yeah.
Because we are in that mindset of thought.
Right.
We're very sensitive when it comes to people. So I get it. But I just, anyway, let's get back to you.
Okay.
Love life and good energy. But, when you healed outside, you said there was a little healing you had to do.
Yes.
So what do you think you had? Like when you got home, was things the same with you, your husband, and all that good stuff? Did you miss the Squid Games when you got out of there? Did you want to go back?
I think getting home, there was a period of emotional highs and lows.
Okay.
Just as there would be with any high stress environment for any human. You come out of a high stress environment and your emotions are kind of all over the place. The issue with coming home is no one at home went through it. And I'm sure everyone you've talked to probably tells you this. And that's why it's so important for us to maintain our relationships that we created in the dorms and in the games, because the outside world, they can be supportive and we are, but they do not have an understanding whatsoever about what it was like.
You know what's funny?
Hmm.
The only person who said that was my husband, what you just said.
Really?
Yeah, everybody else has been like, they did their thing of getting out of it and they were fine they weren't fine. They were basically had to decompress and change some things about themselves and all that. With my husband, one of the things he did say, you it's really hard to relate because you didn't get to be there.
Right.
And you're the first person of all the people that I've talked to say that.
Yeah, well, maybe your husband and I have that in common, that perspective. The other thing is in the dorms, the way it was set up, there was less food than you would eat normally, less sleep that you would have. There were lights in the bunks. There were no clocks. You could not go outside or look out a window. And all of these things are psychologically distressing.
Absolutely.
And we were under those conditions for however long you were in the game. And that, when you can't get your basic needs met, like adequate food, sleep, etc., that plays on your emotions immensely. And you can't have emotional regulation. So that was happening as well.
And that's the thing that I'm talking about. If you're going to do it, then show it. What's wrong with that? They give you guys contracts and telling you guys what's happening to you guys. If you die in a game, you die.
Right.
If you basically sign contracts for all these different things. And then when you're put in this situation, like, show that kind of a thing. Because again, you're like, I don't know if I could do it. Like, for say, if I was going to the game, would I be able to do that? I don't know. Would I be able to close my eyes and not want to open because if that got lots,
but
pull a pillow in my head, whatever that is.
Yeah. I mean, what I hear you saying is you almost want some justification for what it was truly.
Yes.
What was truly occurring in there.
Yes, I don't want it to be just about a game show.
It's not going to truly show us what happened, and that's something that the 456 people who participated know, and even just the half that made it to the dorms know even more. And yes, it was way more difficult than that show will ever
Be able to show us.
It's nowhere near what actually occurred. What actually occurred was way, way, way more difficult.
I feel like if you're gonna do it was just about what you wanted to show. It'd be the game show, that make it just a game show. If you got this social experiment in your hands, and you got all this information, I feel like you should have added another 10 more episodes to show the dynamics, the differences, the things that we're doing. Just like, again, I always go back to when we watch certain other shows, I love Netflix, so I'm all over. I watch a lot of their things.
Yes.
But when I watch them, I understand what they're doing, because they'll say they actually, like, I was talking about where it was called that Paradise one, Surviving Paradise.
Yeah.
You watched it?
No, I have not seen that one.
Surviving Paradise. They actually say, they're like, man, we are eating up rice and beans, sleeping on paddocks on outside. We get ate up by mosquitoes. They're saying this.
Yeah.
That's, you understand, like, I get it's a social kind of a thing, but they're all trying to get back into a beautiful, beautiful house.
Yeah.
So there's a beautiful house that has everything you ever want. And then you got down the hill, you have like all of these, you have nothing.
Okay.
You literally have nothing.
Yeah.
You got an outhouse, you're in the same clothes, you barely brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't have half of what you guys had.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
So,
But if they did, I'm gonna tell you they would have filmmakers gold right there, because the audience would be so connected with those contestants.
that's
and the
what
audience,
I'm saying.
that would be gold.
That's
If the production chose to go that route, they would be onto something pretty amazing.
That's what I'm saying. That's all. I think this is just help. I'm just trying to help y'all. Just do a little bit, like give the people life. It don't have to be a lot of life, just a little bit more about, dude, you got illuminated. You was one of those people that got, let me just talk about, oh my God, like, this is what I'm feeling, this is what, they'll get to meet you guys later on. If they don't get to know you in that moment, they get to meet you later on, or whatever. But let me stop again. I just get scared. Me, you could sit and talk about this thing on a logical kind of way. It's like livable. Come on.
Could, yeah.
Yeah, we really could. Okay, so you're still in the healing process. You're doing better.
I'm doing great. Yeah.
You're doing good.
Yeah.
Anybody inspired you on the show?
Inspired me. A lot of people inspired me. I would say the one girl I met, Lindsay, from Canada. We went through the cookie challenge together, and she did have an emotional moment after she passed the cookie, and it was very symbolic for her. And I think in life that you can see symbols in a lot of different things, and you can take small things and create meaning out of them. And I saw her do it firsthand, and I thought it was a beautiful thing. And it was the start of our friendship, when she overcame the cookie challenge, and she was just kind of raw emotion in front of me, and it made me connect with her, and it made me realize how emotion and displays of emotion are so important for communication and connection with other humans. Mm-hmm. So she was very inspiring to me. She's the first person that pops into my head, but I will say I got to meet so many inspiring people who had different motivations. For example, Demi from Leeds, her goal was to get that money to prevent human trafficking.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And
beautiful people.
Beautiful people. Yeah. James from Korea, his goal was to get that money to build a school in an area of poverty in Korea. There are so many people I met who I felt aligned with me on wanting to make the world a better place with that money. Like you could go in there and you can get the money and choose, I want to buy a nice house, I want to buy cars or have name brands, but there were a lot of people in that show who wanted to do something for the world and to give back, and they weren't in there just for the materialistic. They were in there for something bigger, and I was really pleased to meet a lot of people like that.
Do you find that you're now becoming an inspiration for anybody around you? Do you see yourself? Did anybody come up to you for what you did? Or?
As far as going on the show, no one knows I was on the show. I still need to tell my mom. So I'll be telling her probably tomorrow. So no one knows I went on the show for the most part. So my business partner, she does know, and she thinks it was really good because I will say in psychology, we teach people every day to live your life. Okay, you don't just sit back, you live, okay? And when I got the opportunity to go on that show, that was them saying to me, the world saying to me, Kat,
I love it.
You better practice what you preach.
Right. Let's go.
You better live, roll the dice and live your life, live life as full as you can while you have it. And that was one of the big motivations for me.
Yes.
So I hope, if anything, like if my clients at my practice see this, which I know some of them will.
Oh my gosh! Like when they see this, it's going to be like that's where they will be inspired by it because of the fact. Oh my gosh!
Yes,
She can do it. I can do it too.
I hope so.
They don't see people of your level, people who teach this business the way you teach it anymore, giving them this therapy the way you give it to them. They will. You know how rare that is?
I know it's rare, and I believe in what I do, and I believe that because I'm really passionate, that's how I need to live my life too. So, so that's why, part of my motivation was, do something that you can show to other people and feel like, yeah, this is how we do it, guys. Let's do this, So I do hope people see that when they are struggling, struggling to take their own next step. Because I will tell you, going on the show was a challenge for me. I am camera shy. I have no social media.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not doing this for money or clout. Okay, none of that. That is not my motivation. I am the most introverted person you will meet.
Makes sense.
And for me, I remember the night before, before I was to go, sitting in bed with my spouse and saying, I'm so nervous, but I have to do it because it will help me grow as a person. And you have an opportunity to either grow or to sit back and stay stagnant, and you got to grow. You got to step through the door.
Even if it hurts a little bit, causes change, but you will always have the opportunity to heal that change.
You will.
That's the part of growing. Growing pains are what they are. But if you grow it, you allow yourself to grow, the healing process comes right behind it. And then, as I always say, you wind up becoming an inspiration to others because they see where you came from.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the podcast.
I could see that. And I think one of the biggest regrets that a lot of people have that I've seen in my profession is not doing it, not taking the step, holding back, not just going out and living. That's where we are going to look back and have regrets. We have one precious life, you got to go out and live it.
That's what I'm going to say. There's life and living.
There is.
There's living in life. Can't do one without, you shouldn't be doing one without the other. But there are people that do. They got a life, but they're not living it.
Right.
And so when you have that situation happening, it's one of those things where a lot of times you didn't realize it's happening. But when you do, and you recognize like you are, that's the difference that's can be made.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, before Squid Games, who were you?
Before Squid Games, I was a happy-go-lucky, confident mental health doctor. Spouse and kids, a simple life, work, go home, take care of the family. Yeah.
How do you see yourself at the Squid Games? Say first.
I see myself as my eyes are open a little bit more, and I thought I had profound empathy before, and I have it more so now. And I thought I was non-judgmental before, and I am more so non-judgmental now. I feel so blessed and lucky to meet anyone. And when I say anyone, I'm saying anyone. When someone approaches me on the street to say hi, I feel lucky.
Isn't it beautiful? Like when you can, like, that life part of you is like, you no longer see, like you see, there's no more judgment, but you kind of feel like, oh, like this is me living right now. My visions, I was talking about my visions of my future are meeting me in my present moment. So yeah, that's the point here. I'm learning to live in less judgment space or a predicting of what's going to happen. We're not supposed to know what's going to happen, but we can feel what's happening with us.
Yeah.
And that's the thing for me. That's in my life.
Yeah.
Here, labeling. I be crying about everything. Yeah. Oh, that is just so beautiful.
It is, though. I used to have this saying, and it was connect with others wholeheartedly and with the spirit of an open mind, because we're all different manifestations of the same ultimate reality. And I live by that, okay? I know it's wordy, but I think about this. I wrote it when I was in graduate school, so 10 years ago or so. And I think about it all the time. We're all living, and we are more similar than anything else. And we have the ability to connect with people and have empathy and get to know them, but you have to be open to that. You have to see that person as a little person right in front of you.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely, absolutely.
So that is what I lived by before, but after Squid Game, I think so. More so. Yeah.
Anything you want to tell people out there in the world? Give them any suggestions, corners, or
You know, I can't give advice because everyone's life is different, but I will.
like you said, you've said plenty of things.
I said it probably too much.
You know what I mean by that? Plenty of things as far as like you, about you just being who you are.
Yeah.
If a person is hearing any of these things, just you're talking about manifestation.
Yeah.
I'm talking about being able to be who you are. You're talking about living.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you said that was not too much. That was too much.
Thank you.
Nothing you said to me is like, if anything, you said some things that people like me really need to hear.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's my passion, and I really appreciate that you are receptive to that and you can see that. But I believe in that. You know, I believe in that. That's why I do what I do. That's why I went to school for so long to become a doctor, because I believe in living a fulfilling life and being passionate while you do it.
you might have had and said, and I'm going to say it for you. Believe in who you are, who you become, because your success is sitting straight there right here.
Thank you.
That is you. Be okay to be who you are, no matter what anybody says or what anybody could ever think or do, because this is who you are.
Yeah.
You're a beautiful human being. You have plenty of pleasantries about life that just having my opportunity to just sit with you and talk. I don't get to talk with too many professionals like this, y'all. I don't even really go to therapy for none of that. You know, I understand how she feels when she tells me things like, you know, I might have said too much, or, you know, if I'm professional and all this kind of stuff. But your professional part of who you are is a sensitive side of who you become. The humans of who you become. And I love it. I love every bit of it. It's like I said, talk to you the whole, just sit here and talk to me all night.
You're so sweet.
So this is, I'm going to end it. She's so sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and end this. But Kat, before we get over here,
Yeah.
I gotta get you to die.
Oh, you gotta get me to die.
This is me. I always do it first.
Okay. You want me to go?
It's your time. Kat is gone. Kat is gone. Guys, thank you for joining me on another episode of Growth and Inspire. Talk to you soon.
Bye.